I'm only good at one thing, which is creating content on LinkedIn. I'm averaging more than 5 million plus impression on any given month with just having following of 65,000. As you can see, I'm averaging around 1 million plus impression on a weekly basis by using this exact N8N automation that I'm going to share in this lecture. And to be honest, I really don't want to share this strategy that I use to gain more than 65,000 following in just matter of 4 months. So what this automation will do is it will scrape out top performing posts of your competitors or your LinkedIn creators in your niche with their copy, number of likes, comments, reposts, as well as the date. So the whole purpose of this automation is to get you the glimpse of you can easily repurpose this caption or copy and gain virality. For instance, this copy has already worked before for this creator, so it will definitely work for you. It's all about human psychology. Humans were just the same 1,000 years ago and they will be same 1,000 years after. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel on your own. You can easily repurpose these copies of top performing posts. To show you some example, let us open my top performing post. So here you can see this post copy was not written by me. It has already worked for one of the creators that I scrape out using this N8N workflow. Same goes for this copy. Again, this copy was not written by me. I just changed the word according to my use case as well as according to my post. Same goes for this copy. Use this super simple post to understand the evolution of AI agents in 6 phases. I got around like 1,000 reposts and absurd number of impression. So this post was actually kind of mimicked by Preach Kishore Pandey. You can see he is having more than following of 600k. So what I did was I used his best performing post copy in my post. You can see this is like his all-time best performing post that got around like 6,000 reposts. Use this super simple template to learn how to implement this in your agile team. Same copy, like literally the same copy, but just changing the word according to my post and the post type. So if you open this, like I'm using the same emojis that he is using in his post. If you scroll down, you can see the same exact structure and the format of the copy. It will get me more than 1 million plus impression and around like 8,600 comments. Same goes for this post, 1.6 million. Yeah, so I hope I am able to convince you that this strategy is genuinely working for me and it can work for you as well. So again, like all you need is the top creators in your niche, or better say the competitors in your niche. So I'm taking example of Ruben and his crew, Anisha and Exale. So I just want to kind of spy on their top performing post and repurpose it into my LinkedIn post. Alright, I hope this makes sense. So let us build this N8N workflow from scratch and I will see you in new N8N workflow. By using this automation, you can get unlimited number of content ideas around your niche. Next, let's source our top creators profile, or better say top competitors, and just simply jot down their LinkedIn URL. So these are the competitors that I genuinely like to read about their copies, and I can take inspiration around content ideas as well as kind of mimicking the entire copy. So I'm using 3 example, but feel free to have, let's say, 20, 30 different example in your niche. So since we are sourcing our LinkedIn creators from Google Sheet, we will use this get rows from the sheet, which is basically searching rows in our Google Sheet. I have named my Google Sheet as LinkedIn creators I like, as well as they are my competitors, lol. Here, instead of using Google Sheet, you can use Airtable as well. So I'm going to show you how we can use Airtable instead of Google Sheet, because I think we have covered Google Sheet in every other lectures, so it's time to introduce Airtable as well. Let us click on Test tab. Alright, we have our top 3 content creators or our competitors. Next, what we want to do is, so let's use Airtable this time. Alright, so let's log in or sign up with your Airtable account, and then let's create or start from scratch. Then create 2 different tables inside Airtable. And if you don't know what is Airtable, Airtable is basically Google Sheet on steroids. You can do so many things inside Airtable and it is way better than Google Sheet. But the reason I was using Google Sheet, because a lot of you guys are familiar with Google Sheet and you don't want to deal with more complexity. That's why I was using Google Sheet. But now it's time to enter into the next stage, which is Airtable. So this is my creator list, the same we were having inside Google Sheet, nothing too crazy. Yeah, single line tags and the field name is name, as well as this is URL field for LinkedIn URL. Then for second table, which is content list, we want to know the LinkedIn post, the creator name, the copy or the caption they are using, how many reaction or likes they have got, comments, repost, as well as the publish date and time. So we want to have this information. We will store this inside our table number 2. But the table number 1 is the list of creators that we are going after. So what we want to do is we want to search records. So first of all, we need to connect our Airtable with N8N workflow. Yeah, so we need to enter our access token. So where you can find the access token, just click on your profile, go to Builders Hub. We need to create our first personal token. Let's name this as N8N. And now for scope, scope basically means giving access to our N8N automation, what they can do inside our Airtable. So we want to give the access to read our records, to write basically means to create, to edit or delete records, all of these scopes, as well as schema read and schema write. I think it's pretty good, and now it's time to add the base. Base basically means the table that you have created in Airtable, which is LinkedIn creators. So the base will be scroll down and the last one that we just created, which is LinkedIn creators. Then create token, copy this token and paste it here. Click on save and connection successful. Next, from base, again the base is LinkedIn creators, and from table, which is table number 1, which is creator list. Awesome, we have the LinkedIn URLs of our creators. So that's how you can use Airtable. Alright, I hope this makes sense. So let's do one thing. Let's use both Google Sheet and Airtable for input or for our creator list. Let's use Airtable, and for output, which is our content list, let's use Airtable. I know this seems might crazy, but I'm just playing around, but feel free to use whatever tools that you like the most. So now we have the list of creators inside our N8N. We want to scrape their posts from the LinkedIn URL. So we are going to use Epify for that. Epify is my go-to platform from web scraping and data extraction. Basically, you can deploy tools called as actors, and there are so many scrapers available. For example, TikTok scraper, LinkedIn job scraper, Instagram scraper, you name it, this platform have it. But in this example, we want to scrape their posts from the LinkedIn URL. And since we are performing in bulk, we can search for LinkedIn Mass. We can use this one, which is LinkedIn Mass Profile Post Scraper, that does not include any cookies of our LinkedIn, so that there is no chance of our LinkedIn account getting banned. Awesome. So let's first of all figure out how we are going to connect this actor inside our N8N. Obviously by using HTTP request. So we need to fill in all of this information. So we are going to use API documentation for it, or API endpoints. So there are basically run actor synchronously, and run actor synchronously and get the data item. So if we want to run this actor individually, like for run actor, waiting it for to finish and getting the data item, we will need 3 different HTTP request, one for each, which is first for run actor, wait for actor to finish, and last to get the data item or the result, get the data set. Yeah, but we are smart, and what we will do is we will combine all of these 3 steps, and if you scroll down, it will do all of these things in just one HTTP request. So let's open this API reference. Yeah, here the entire documentation is given, the method is post, this is the URL. So what we can do is we can simply just copy this, go to N8N, let's open this, and basically we can use this import from curl so that we don't have to fill in all of this information manually. So paste the command, click on import, and as you can see, it will automatically configure the method, URL, any headers needed. Same goes for body, etc, etc. Otherwise, we have to do everything manually. For example, we will select the method post, we will use this URL, we will copy and paste the content type, which is application/JSON, then our API keys, etc, etc. Yeah, so what we need to change is the actor ID. So the actor ID will be this one, starting from R and ending at capital P, and paste it here. Next, for our API key, you can easily find or create API key inside Apify. So I will show you how you can do that. Go to settings, click on API integration and create your API key. This is my API key, feel free to use it until it is up and running. And for JSON, we want to send out our LinkedIn URLs, right? So we cannot just drag and drop here. What we will do is we have to define our JSON manually. Yeah, so we can simply just enter a query, open curly brackets and close the curly brackets. Then what we are passing is simply the usernames. Usernames, and their usernames are their LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn URL. So drag and drop the LinkedIn URL here. Oops, it's outside. Awesome. But now if we run it, it will show us an error. Why? So let's see. Yeah, because this thing must be an array. Since we are not just passing only single username, we are passing multiple username. It's a form of array or a list. So how you can add a list is by using square brackets. And now if you run it, it will successfully show you the output. Awesome, we are able to scrape 303 LinkedIn posts of this creator, which is Ruben. So here you can see we are able to find out the text or the LinkedIn copy, the LinkedIn URL. So if you open this, breaking, ChatGPT just launched their shop and it's just 12 hours ago. Yeah, same text, and it will able to scrape all the stats as well. For example, total reaction, comments and repost. Awesome. So I hope you understand how you can use Apify to scrape out all the posts of any creator that you are going after. Plus, you can use the coupon code 25month10 to get 25% off on any Apify plans. Yeah, so coming back to the point, since we are performing multiple rows, we need to include a loop. Alright, I hope this makes sense. It's nothing too crazy. So what we want to do is we want to perform all of this scraping one by one. For example, you can see the batch size 1. So it will perform for the first row, second row and third row in a loop. Next, what we want to do is we want to add a filter. For instance, if the post is getting much virality, it is obviously going to have more number of likes, comments and the repost. So we can easily filter out by that criteria. So search for filter, and under stats, you can easily filter by total number of reaction or comments or repost. In this example, I am using repost. So if the repost value, obviously it is a number, so I am using number, should be greater than, let's say, 500. By doing this, we are easily able to find out Ruben's top performing post. So if we click on test tab, it discarded like 99 items and only kept 2 items which has more than 500 repost. Here you can see 500 repost, 933 repost, which is more than 500. Same goes for this. So I can easily use the same copy, change it according to my use case or my post and get instant virality. Again, I'm not guaranteeing anything here. I'm just showing you this loophole that you can use or this arbitrage that you can use in order to gain instant virality on your LinkedIn account. As well as you can also include the post preview. For example, it could be a video, it could be an image. You can simply do that inside Apify. But in this example, I don't really focus more on the post preview, which is like image or carousel post. I have seen that on LinkedIn, copy is everything, like copy matters the most. Then after comes image or video. So that's why I'm not using a video here. So that's why I'm not adding an extra column for image or video URL. So we want to store all of this information to our Airtable. So what we are doing is we are creating a record. Let's select our base, then table. To be honest, it is same as Google Sheet. In Google Sheet, we have first of all sheet name and then sheet type. So if you open Google Sheet, you can see, we have first document and then sheet. So in Airtable, we have base and then table. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, Airtable is much better than Google Sheet. First of all, LinkedIn URL, then the creator name, first name, space, and then last name. After that, our caption or the copy, the reactions, the comments, and the repost. Our filter was repost, but you can also use total reaction. For example, if that post has more than, I don't know, like 500,000 plus reaction, then and then only you want to mimic or take inspiration from that post. And for date and time, yeah, this one. Awesome. So let's click on test tab. There you go. The LinkedIn URL, create a name, caption and the copy. So I can easily skim and scan the copy here, as well as number of comments, repost, reaction, and date and time. Again, you can format this way better. I'm just showing you as an example. So that's how we can use Airtable inside your N8N workflow as well instead of Google Sheet. And next, what we want to do is we want to circle back so that it will run for second creator in your Google Sheet or in your Airtable. So let's decrease to, let's say, more than 200 repost. Let us click on save and let us test our workflow for all of these three creators. Alright, so it is working. From 101 items, it is able to find out 13 items that has more than 200 repost. So if we go back to our Airtable, awesome. So that's how you can use this type of automation in order to find out the best performing posts so that you can take inspiration from it. Next, for example, if you are scheduling this, right? So every single week or every single day you are running this automation, what will happen is it will create duplicate entries inside your Airtable. So you can easily prevent that by using merge node. So let's select for merge node and we want to combine. So yeah, first of all, let's do one thing. We will get all the data from our Airtable. Search for Airtable. What we want to do is we want to get records and join the workflow here. Basically, this configuration means when the merge node will run, it will compare your newly scraped LinkedIn posts against your existing database in Airtable. It will only pass those posts that does not have any matching URLs. This effectively filters out any duplication before they reach to your Airtable node, where it will create new records inside your Airtable. So I hope this makes sense. Nothing rocket science or crazy, but that's how you can use this type of automation in order to get the virality and this staggering engagement on LinkedIn. So that's my use case, but you can easily use that for Instagram, you can easily use that for Twitter, etc, etc. So let's go back to Epify. Let's go to Epify store, and the same will be for TikTok, same will be for Twitter. So you can use this one, Twitter post scraper, and it will do the same that we just did for LinkedIn. The sky's the limit here. Just get creative and you're good to go. Again, this workflow will be in the resource section, so make sure to check it out. And if you have any question regarding this, do let me know. I'm always happy to help. Bye bye, take care, and I will see you in the next one. This is a deep company research workflow with just email input only. Imagine you have a list of prospects and you want to find out everything about their company, like literally deep research. For instance, let's test it and let's see the result. So what it will do is it will scrape out the domain or website from the email only, and it will perform deep company research. For instance, we will get their company overview, their business profile, their key highlights, their strategic insights like SWOT analysis, growth strategy alignment, and risk and mitigation. After that, their sales opportunity, competitor snapshot, and lastly, it will condense all of this information into key takeaways. So let's look at the results. So first of all, we will get this executive summary. VectorShift AI is an early stage VC-backed company. Their headquarters and global presence, their business profile, which is their products and services, their revenue streams, their target market and customers, literally everything that you need to know about that company. It will do this just by email input only. You don't have to go to the company LinkedIn URL. You don't have to analyze anything on the web page. So what we are telling in the prompt is go to Crunchbase, any press releases, industry reports, or earning calls. It will condense all of this information into this one single summary. Awesome. So let's look forward. We have key highlights. Feel free to read it. Then we have strategic insights like SWOT analysis, basically means strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. After that, we have growth, risk and mitigation, And now sales opportunity, which is upsell or cross product sell, customer pain points. Then we have competitor analysis, which is the competitor is CPR of course, UI path of course, their marketing position and key differentiator. Lastly, recommended actions like for executives or for sales team. And to summarize, it will give these key takeaways. VectorShift is an agile, privacy-conscious AI automation provider with strong product market fit. It will do the same for rest of all the companies in our Google Sheet. Persona AI, same goes for retail AI. Awesome. So with just only email input, you are able to perform this deep company research with this workflow. Alright, so let's build this workflow from scratch and I will see you in new N8N workflow. First node will be obviously a trigger node. You can use Google Sheet trigger node, for instance, when a new row has been added, trigger this workflow. But right now I'm triggering it manually since we are just testing it. Then we need to get some data source, right? So in this example, I'm using Google Sheet to get this data source, but you can use Airtable, ClickUp, whatever you like. So what we are doing here is we want to get the rows from our Google Sheet. So let's select our Google Sheet, which is company research with email only. And then sheet number 1. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's test this step. Alright, so we have 3 rows and the 3 emails of my friends, which is Albert, Rush and Bing. Next, what we want to do is we want to check that if the status is left and the email should be present. Otherwise, we don't want to execute this workflow. So click on add and let's search for filter. In the filter, we are saying that the status should be left and the email shouldn't be empty. That's pretty much it, nothing too complex. If both of these conditions are true, then it will execute the rest of the workflow. But now as we have multiple rows inside our Google Sheet, we will introduce loop. Loop basically means it will perform deep company research for one row at a time. So yeah, you can see the batch size here is 1. And now for the LLM, we want to use Perplexity Deep Research. Click on loop and then search for basic LLM. For the prompt, we want to define it below. And here's the fun part. What we want to do is, we want to extract the website or the domain from email only. So we will input a formula. Click on expression and let's open it. So drag and drop the formula here from Google Sheet. And at the end, we can say, we want to split, open brackets, we want to split after @. For instance, we want to get only this field which is VectorShift AI Persona AI and not the first input. So we can say split after @. And then we want to get the first position. So this is 0 position and this is first position after the split. Let's open square bracket and let's type 1. Sorry, 1. Yeah, awesome. You can see in the result, it is able to retrieve the domain or the website just from the email without using any basic LLM or even a single code. So this is the fun part of formulas. And now let's define our system field prompt. Inside system field prompt, we are saying, you are senior corporate analysis specializing in synthesizes complex business data into actionable insight. And this is the format that you have to perform deep research. And don't worry about this prompt. This prompt will be in the research section, so make sure to check it out. You don't have to write anything on your own. This prompt will be automatically added inside your N8N workflow after you have uploaded this file. But yeah, coming back to the point, it will perform this deep company research with these 6 core sections. But feel free to play around and change whatever you like. Awesome. Now for the model. Yeah, but in the prompt we can say, here is the company I want you to research about, which is VectorShift AI, then Persona AI and Retail AI. And now for model, we want to connect Perplexity. But as you can see, Perplexity does not have any native integration with N8N. So we are going to use Open Router chat model for that. So let's go to Open Router, openrouter.ai. Log in or sign up with your account. Then click on this 3 dash. Go to keys. Let's create new key. Let's say company research. Copy this key here. Paste your API key here and click on save. Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to do. And in model, we want to select Perplexity one. So scroll down. This is the model that we will use. Perplexity and Sonar Pro. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's test this step. Awesome. As you can see, we have this detailed summary of this company without we having to add any LinkedIn URL of that company, going to the website to perform this search. Literally nothing. All you need to have is just the email address. That's it. Yeah. So we are good to go. Now we want to add this information back to our Google Sheet in the third column, which is company summary. So what we want to do is we want to update our Google Sheet. So we will use this example, update rows in a sheet. Select your Google Sheet and we want to match the column using email. Drag and drop the email from this Google Sheet. Now for company summary, just drag and drop the text here. And for status, right now it is left, we want to update it to done. So we will say status done. Now let's test this step. Let's pin this data. Click on test tab. Awesome. Here we have the company entire summary in our Google Sheet. And the status is also done so that we can easily skim and scan which company are yet to be left or which company are already done with this deep research. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It is very basic workflow, but still it is super powerful. You can also include a wait node. For example, if you want to wait for, let's say, 60 seconds or 1 minute, you can use this and loop it back here. So it will perform for the second company, third company, as many companies as you have inside your Google Sheet. Yeah, that's all from my side. If you have any question, do let me know. And again, you don't have to build this workflow from scratch. Use the resource below or use the JSON file below to import this inside your N8N account. Click on these three dots, click on import for file and upload the file which is in the resource section. Yeah, bye bye, take care, and I will see you in the next one. This is our HR agent or human resources agent that will pre-scan all the candidates and their resumes and will qualify them inside our Google Sheet. So let us test it out first of all to show you the results. We are using text classifier and we are using extract from PDF. Then we are adding this PDF file to our AI agent where it will qualify the candidates based on their technicality, experience, etc. And once done, let's look at it. So we have the candidate name, their email address, and their email body content because we are using Gmail trigger. So whatever they are sending us in the email body, we are collecting them as well. After that, we have their summary, 2.5 years of SDR role. Then here is their CV. This is just a fake CV that I have prepared. And we have this overall score. So experience, technicality, achievements, and education. And here is a quick read or the summary of our candidate. Jason has 2.5 years of solid B2B experience and he is the right fit for this job. So by using this HR agent, you can pre-scan all of your candidates within a matter of minutes without you having to do this manually. So to give you an example, I have my friend Yashwardhan, right? So he was hiring for a copywriter or a ghostwriter. And just after 1 day of posting this hiring job, he got over more than 200 applications in 24 hours. So I don't want you to waste your time qualifying all of these candidates according to your job profile or a job description. So I want you to be smart and use this type of agents and automation to streamline your business and operation. Alright, let's start building this from scratch. And again, you don't have to build this from scratch. This workflow will be in the resource section, so make sure to check it out. I will see you in the N8N interface. Let's name our agent as HR AI agent for CV screening. Now the trigger node could be anything here. For instance, if you are collecting your candidate CV by using Typeform, by using Google Form, or by simply telling them to send their CVs or resumes via email. So feel free to customize the trigger node. In this example, I am using Gmail. So when someone will send out a job application with their CV attached, it will trigger our workflow. So on massive receive. And we want to check every single minute to search if there is a new job application email or not. Now, once they add their CV or resume in the Gmail, we do need to download that attachment so that we can use them further on inside our Google Sheet. So click on add option and use download attachments. So to get the test event or payload, let's initialize this Gmail by sending out a fake CV. So I have built this fake CV, you can see here, of Jason Wu. I have built this by using ChatGPT, nothing too crazy. And now once we send this email to our main email, I have received that email in my inbox. So let us use fetch test event. Awesome. As you can see, it was able to find out the file name, and the file size. So here we can easily view as well as download the file. Awesome. So that's what we wanted. So our first node is our trigger node. So when someone will send out their job application, it will trigger this workflow. Awesome. So that's all for our trigger node. But one thing we do need to specify is we only want to process those emails who does have that job role or CV inside it. Otherwise, we don't want to proceed every single email in this workflow. So what we will use is a text classifier that will analyze our email if there is a job application or job opportunity. So that's why we are going to use text classifier. And for model, I'm going to use a pretty cheap model, ChatGPT 4o Mini, because it's not something hard for ChatGPT to analyze if this email is for job application or not. So that's why GPT 4o Mini will work wonders for you. Awesome. Now for classification parameters, we can use the email body or the email text to classify if it is looking for a job role or not. So if you scroll down, and yeah, here is our text. I am applying for SDR or BDR role. So we can simply drag and drop here. Then we can apply categories as well. For example, if the candidate is looking for a job role, we can apply the category apply. And in description, we can say contains a job application from a candidate seeking an opportunity or a position at our organization. If it is a regular email, we want to say does not apply category. The candidate is not looking for a job application. And we can also add system field prompt to it. We can use the by default system field prompt, it will does fine. So let's test our step. Awesome. So it was able to find out that this email contains a job application or job opportunity, and that's why there are two branches, right? One for apply and second for does not apply. So it was able to find out that this email goes to apply branch. So if we go back, you can see we have two branches. So in the apply branch, we have one item which is the email and the CV, and in does not item, we don't want to do anything. So we can say no operation, do nothing. For example, if you are using, let's say, a random email or a regular email, you don't want to perform any action to it. But if that email does contain a job application or a CV, we can proceed that information for rest of our workflow. Now next, we have two things to do. First of all, we have the CV in the PDF format, right? So we need to first of all analyze the PDF content and convert it into the text or JSON so that our AI agent can understand. As well as we need to upload this CV inside our Google Drive so that if we have any query or if we want to refer back, we can always come back to our Google Drive. So we are going to use two branch. That's why we have to do switch. For first branch, which is to extract all the content from the PDF, we can say this is the name of the PDF which is attachment 0 exist. Then and then only we want to pass it for rest of our workflow. Alright, I hope this makes sense. This is one for the OCR and second one is for uploading to our Google Drive. Again, this PDF should exist, otherwise we cannot upload an empty file to our Google Drive. I hope this makes sense. So we have two branch. So for first branch, we can easily use this amazing node, extract from file, that will convert all the PDF data into an JSON. So we will use extract from PDF, and don't worry, it won't cost you a single penny to do that. And the input finally built won't be data, it will be the name of our PDF file, which is attachment 0. And for the second branch, we want to upload this PDF file to our Google Drive. So search for Google Drive. And what we are doing here is we are uploading a file. So in data field name, it will be obviously attachment 0. This is the name of the file that we have downloaded from Gmail. Now let us locate our Google Drive folder. I have created this new folder of CV screening. Awesome. So that's all you need to do. So we have uploaded the file, right? But we do need to create a share link as well. Otherwise, if someone from your team is watching this PDF file, they won't have the access. So we have to create a share link. So again, search for Drive and you will be able to find this share file. Now we have to select that Google Drive file that we just uploaded here. So we can do that by using ID that we will get from this node. Alright, so to get that ID, we need to have some payload on the left hand side. And right now there is no payload. Now the interesting part inside N8N is it is running our workflow in hierarchical format. So in this example, since our extract from file was above our Google Drive branch, it will execute this first and not this one. So in order to execute this, we have to connect our Google Drive first. Yeah, I hope you understand. Now this time extract from file won't run because it is below our Google Drive branch. So if you open this, we have the ID here, right? So this is what we were looking for. So let's open this and let us select by ID. So simply drag and drop here. And now let's test this workflow. Sorry, we have to add permission first of all. So the reader could be anyone. So now anyone can read this PDF file. And now we want to merge both of this data together. So we will use a merge node and we want to combine all possible combination. And let's connect the second branch as well. Awesome, we are done with our two branches. Now we want to send both of this data to an AI agent. So let us search for AI agent. And for source of the prompt, we want to define it below. So click on expression and let us write our prompt. So we can say analyze the current information from the received candidate and score them from 0 on the scale of 0 to 10. 0 meaning not a good fit for the position, 10 being outstanding for the job. And here we can input the job description. So we can say we are looking for BDR role for lead gen man, which is my website or which is my company. Yeah. So I have added all the job description that we offer, what we bring, what you will be doing, etc. etc. And see the extracted PDF information from here. So we haven't run it actually yet. So let us run this till here. So still this extract from file is not working. So let's figure out. So it is not actually receiving any data. So that's why it is not triggering. So there might be something in the switch. Okay, I got it. So we have to send all the matching data output. Because what was happening is both of this routing rule were equal. So that's why it was only sending to the first branch. So we want to enable this option, send data to all matching outputs. And now let's test our workflow till here. Yeah, so now we have the output in this branch. So first of all, it will execute our first branch and then this extract from file. So if we open this, yeah, so it was able to scrape all the text data from our PDF file. And here, let's open this. See the extracted PDF information. We can add the information here. So in the results, Jason Wu, Sales Development Representative. So it was able to extract all the information from our PDF file. Till certification. Yeah, so till certification. Awesome. So that's what we wanted. Now we can add again a very cheap model, ChatGPT 4o mini. I think it will work fine. Sorry, GPT 4o mini. And we want to get the output in a specific format. So we will enable this option. Yeah, also we can connect to output parser. So we are going to use structure output parser. Let's remove all of this and let's say we want to get information in this specific format. Candidate and their first name, last name, email, location, then their summary, then the overall fit score. Why our model has given this score? It will show them inside reasoning. And we can also attach a system field prompt. Here we can say you are a helpful HR assistant and your goal is to analyze the CV of the candidate and see if they are good fit for our position that we have defined here, which is BDR or Business Development Representative. Awesome, so that's all we wanted. Now we want to map this information to our Google Sheet. And I have added these headers. So let's go back, search for Google Sheets, and we want to add a row inside our sheet. So let's select our HR1 and sheet number 1. Yeah, we do need to map each fields manually. So first of all, let's run this workflow. Awesome. So we have the output of AI agent, and as you can see, it is listed in the structure format that we were looking for. Name, email, their location, their summary, their key achievement, technical skills, and their overall fit score, as well as the reasoning. Now we can easily map the fields here. First name, last name, same goes for email. You can also add location or phone number, whatever you like. Now for email body or email content, it will be the one that we have received from our Gmail. So scroll down and yeah, this is the one. Email body inside text. And for summary, if we scroll up, so we do have the summary here, which is years of experience, and we can hard code 2.5 years of SDR. And for CV, we want to add that URL or link of Google Drive. So scroll down and yeah, web view link. So we can easily paste it here. For scoring, scroll up. Yeah, so the overall score is, let's open this first of all. We can say the overall score is 9. And we can also break down by experience, technical score, achievement, and lastly, education score. Yeah, so this will be the output that we will get in our Google Sheet. And for quick read, we can use all of these summaries. Awesome, so that's what we wanted. Now let's test this step. Awesome, so successfully executed. Let's go back to our Google Sheet. Yeah, so we have the first name, last name, the email, then the quick summary, which is they have 2.5 years of an SDR job role. Then here is the CV, we can easily open it. And yeah, it can be read by anyone from your team. Then this is the overall score. So the overall score is 9. So this candidate is actually ideal fit for our job. And their experience or kind of short brief about that candidate. And congratulations guys, our HR agent is done. And that's how you can streamline all the pre-screening of the candidates. For example, if you are getting 200, 300, 500, it will do it instantly. And you can easily skim and scan which candidate is more accurate or proper fit for a job role. Now we can also do mine. So let's download my resume. Let's save to PDF. Let's see if I'm a right fit for my own company. So let's send this CV to our email address in order to trigger our workflow. So click on send and I have attached my CV. And now let's test our workflow. Right now it is analyzing our CV and it will append new row here. Yeah, Manthan Patel, my email address. Hey, I am dropping my resume, 1 year plus experience of content creator, and my CV as well as the overall score. So the overall score is 8 because I am a GTM partner or B2B sales instructor. That's why I am also right fit for my company. Yeah, and again this workflow will be in the research section, so make sure to check it out because I don't want you to spend your time or waste your time building this everything from scratch. I have done it so that you don't have to do it. So make sure to check out our school in order to download this workflow. That's all from my side and I will see you in the next one. OpenAI has launched their GPT-4 search preview, which will enable you to execute web search queries with Chat Competition API. Why it is important? We don't have to use Gina AI, we don't have to use Perplexity DeepSeek. We can use OpenAI to perform all of these website searches. So in this example, I have built this small automation. Again, it is just to show you what are the possibilities of OpenAI API search key. For instance, we have this domain. So what OpenAI API search preview will do is go to this domain or website and identify what is the customer type. Is this SaaS or is this product has a free trial? Their case studies, their blog page and integration. Yeah, so coming back to our workflow, let us execute it. This is our OpenAI API key. As you can see, this domain or this product is serving B2B, have a free trial, and there are no available case studies, but they do have their blog page. Awesome, we have the URL of the blog page as well as their native integration. So Persona AI has native integration of Woodpecker, etc, etc. Same goes for our second, which is vector shift, and third, which is retail. In this example, it is able to find out the customer's case study. Same goes for free trial and customer type. Again, the sky's the limit here. I'm just showing you as an example. Now let us open our HTTP request. Yeah, so this all information are available in the documentation. I'm not making this out of thin air. So what we want to do is we want to add authorization, bearer, space our API key that we will get from OpenAI. Then in body, we are using the model GPT-4o search preview. Right now I'm using this low. You can use it as high or medium, whatever you like. And we are saying you are an AI specialized in researching and analyzing SaaS companies based on domain name. So we are adding the domain name at the end. Yeah, and we are using this amazing node which is AI transfer. So what it will do is we will get this data in this format, right? Customer type, free trial, everything is attached together. So this AI transfer will clean the content so that we can easily map those fields into our Google Sheet. For instance, customer type, free trial, the integration blocks, etc. etc. So if we open our Google Sheet, yeah. And in this arrays, you can easily use the join function. I will show you. Join, and we can separate it by comma. So it won't look weird like this. Alright, so feel free to play around with GPT-4 search preview. I have tested it. It's really amazing. It's way better than Perplexity and DeepSeek. Hello everybody, it's Lee Genman here, and this lecture is all about N8N tips and tricks that will save you countless number of hours and all the head scratching that you have in N8N workflow. So let us begin with the first tip, which is how you can import any external image. For example, if you want to brand your workflows, if you are sharing with others, you can easily import any external image inside your N8N workflow very easily. Since this node are in Markdown format, Markdown allows you to import or embed any external image that you like. So all you need to do is just pick any image that you want. So I want to import this image. So I will download this image and I will search post images, which allows us to free host our image as well as upload our image. So let us choose that image. Awesome, it is uploaded. We are going to use this direct link. So just copy this link, go back, click on add notes, notes, and here all we need to do is exclamation mark, square brackets open and close, and now open parenthesis, paste the link of the image, then close the parenthesis. That's it. And you have your image right over here. Now the problem here is this image is not in full width. As you can see, the bottom layer of the image is cutting off. So all we need to do is just add full width at the end of the URL and you will have your entire image like it. Now if you want to change color, you can change the color of the background right from over here. So alright, so that's the first tip of this N8N lecture. Second tip of this lecture is webhooks. Webhooks apparently cause most of the problem for everyone. Basically, webhooks are very easy to understand and easy to use if you understand what are webhooks at a fundamental level. So first of all, let us understand what is webhook and then let us see the use case in action. So webhooks are used to receive data from apps and services when an event occurs. It's a trigger node, which means that it can start or launch your N8N workflow. Here is a webhook node, so let's open it. Lot of people just fall into error with this test URL and production URL. So in order to test this webhook, let's copy this test URL. Let's go to our Google or our browser and let's call it. Sorry, we need to actually listen for test. Workflow has started. Workflow was started. So we will receive all of the information here. Now this is the test URL. If I do the same with production URL, it won't work. Again, we have to listen for test. Yeah, why it won't work? Because it is not in the production. So if we click on active, enable this active button and then call it, it will trigger our workflow. And now if we use the test URL, it won't work because right now it is in the production. So if you are just testing inside N8N workflow, if you are just building out, you want to use test URL. But if you have deployed this N8N workflow, you want to use the production URL. I hope this makes sense. Now the next question is this HTTP method. So in order to call this, we are going to use Postman. Again, it is free, login or sign up with this API platform. So let's create a new HTTP and here we will just paste. Let's close all of this. Let's delete this and let's add a new webhook. So this is our test URL and the method is get. So copy this get URL and paste it here. You can see the method is get. If we click on send, first of all, we have to listen for event. Awesome, the workflow was started. Now let's say if I change the method to post, and right now inside N8N workflow, it is get. it won't trigger this workflow even if I click on send. This webhook is not registered for post request. But let's say you might need both get and post method inside your N8N workflow. All you need to do is just click on settings, allow multiple HTTP requests. So here you can add both get and post and whatever other methods that you like. So if I click now on this send, it will initiate the workflow. Same goes for the get method. It will initiate the workflow yet again. So that's how we can play around with webhooks inside N8N, and always use Postman in order to debug or know what is happening inside your webhooks and APIs. Sorry, I forgot to cover about this part, which is response immediately. What I mean is it will not wait for all of this node to be executed. It will send the response directly. So in order to use this, we are going to use using a respond to webhook node. So here we are going to use respond to a webhook node. Since we added this option, which is we are going to respond to this webhook by using respond to a webhook node. I hope this makes sense. So it will wait for all of these 4 nodes to be executed, and then once we get the data, it will send back to the webhook. And even if you don't want to use respond to webhook node and you want to send the data from the last node, you can do that as well. So we're going to use this option when last node finishes. Alright, I hope this makes sense. And another thing to remember is this listen for test event, the timeout is 60 seconds. So after 60 seconds, if it does not get any external data, it will stop listening for the request. So be time sensitive here. Now the third tip is you can trigger this workflow either by manually or by using a schedule trigger without creating different workflows. Let me explain what I mean. For example, if I am just testing this workflow and I want to test it manually, I'm obviously going to use this test workflow. But let's say I want to schedule this workflow. Where is schedule node? Yep, here it is. I can schedule this as well. So I don't have to create 2 separate workflows, one for testing and one for schedule trigger. It can connect with both of these trigger. So you can have it up and running for schedule triggers. And let's say you made some changes here and there and you want to test it again. You can test it right over from here. Now let me share you the tips of schedule trigger node. As you might know, you can schedule it, for example, weeks, months, whatever you like. Let's say I want to run it on weekends, on Saturday, Sunday only at specific hours. But if you want to be more customizable with your workflows when it should be running, you can use custom cron. So let's open the docs and see. For example, you can run it every single second, for example, every 10 seconds, every 20 seconds. Feel free to customize it according to this cron customization. For example, if you want to run it every hour from 9 to 5 p.m. every day or every weekend, whatever customization that you want to apply to your workflow, you can use cron for that. For example, at midnight on 1st January, April, July and October. So just simply copy this expression and paste it here. So it will run and execute this workflow on these specific dates and time. And even if you don't want to come up with this expression on your own, just go to ChatGPT and say on 1st June, then on 3rd June at 5 p.m. Write me cron expression for it. So I'm just making up this number, but feel free to customize it according to your use case. Awesome. So it will come up with this expression. Let's copy this and paste it here. And you're good to go. So that's how you can use this specific type of customization to launch your workflows. Next tip is how you can pin the data or output as well as edit the output manually. The best thing about N8N is you can actually pin the data so that you don't have to spend credits again and again. In this example, let's say I'm using this website analyzer by using OpenAI chat model. So I'm just testing it and I got the result one time. Now I don't want to use this OpenAI chat model again and spend credit on OpenAI credits. So I will just pin this data so that it will use the same result or the same output for this particular node. You can see I have done the same for this one because I was again using OpenAI chat model and I want this specific result, and that's why I will just pin this data. You can do the same for any HTTP request. Let's say I call this API key and I get the output. Now I'm just testing it and I don't want to call this API key again and burn my credits. So what I will do, I will just simply pin the data. Now the whole another level is you can also edit this data or manipulate this data by clicking on this pencil button. For example, instead of company name, I want to say Manthan, or my company name, Lead Gen Man. So what it will do is, for the second node, here for the second node, it will send out this Lead Gen Man company. So that's how you can manipulate or edit the output inside N8N. Always use pin data if you're using, let's say, Epify or Apollo. Whatever node that will spend the credits, you can use this pin data in order to minimize your cost while testing out or building out your workflows. You can easily use nodes in order to know what is happening inside this workflow or inside these specific nodes. But sometimes if you don't like nodes, you can also add nodes inside this specific particular node only. For example, hey, I'm Manthan, nice to meet you, and click on display nodes in the flow. So it will display the nodes just below the node. Alright, so this is another way how you can add nodes inside node. The next N8N hack is about version history. For example, let's say this node is working just fine, but I want to replace it and test it with another node. So what I will do is, I will just simply copy this and paste it somewhere else so that I have the data. But you don't need to do that. If we click on version history, it will store automatically all the last saved project inside this version history. For example, in the last tip, we just added the schedule trigger, right? But previously we didn't have the schedule trigger, so it will store all of the last previous search history or the version history of your N8N file. In this example, I was talking about webhooks. Yeah, we have the webhook here. So you don't need to create duplicate workflows or copy and duplicate it again and again. You can simply copy it right from over here as well. Copy it to clipboard by using version history. Now let's talk about error handling inside N8N. And trust me guys, it is so easy to use this error handling workflow. For example, let's say you have this workflow up and running and it fall into some error and you are sleeping or you are just traveling anywhere else. You are not physically seeing every single time or every single minute, is this workflow executing successfully or not? Yeah, you are obviously not going to do that. That's why we are going to use this error handling or this error trigger. So add this error trigger node and click on these three dots, click on settings, and in error workflow, we want to add this error handling workflow file. So scroll down and you will be able to find this error handling. Click on save. And once this workflow will fall into error, it will trigger this workflow. And once it trigger, we want to get notified on our WhatsApp, on our Gmail. So we'll just simply add our Gmail node, which is send a message to, let's say, myself. And here you can say error in your workflow, please check. And now let's execute our N8N workflow, this one, and let us make sure that we fall into error. Why we need this payload data? So that we can add this URL in our Gmail message as well as the name of the workflow, so that we can instantly know in which N8N workflow did this error occur. So we have to make sure that we fall into error. Let us click on test tab. Yeah. Awesome. So this can be the URL of your specific workflow, the error message, and the last node executed. You can add all of this payload to your Gmail message. And another quick tip is, if you want to change it from fixed to expression by using keyboard, just type is equal to and it will automatically change to expression, so that you don't have to use mouse again and again. Yeah, so we want to say, hey Manthan, please check this workflow, something went wrong, and I can just easily drag and drop the URL so that I will know in which specific workflow did error occur. Alright, so instead of Gmail, you can use WhatsApp, Slack, or Telegram, whatever you like. So that's how you can perform error handling inside N8N and your workflows.